Sundance, a very celebrated event every year. A Sundance official tries to block a black journalist attempting to conduct an approved interview. Boy, this one speaks to me. This one speaks to me because it goes on all the time. Approved interview with actor Jonathan Majors blocked by a Sundance official.
So, I was just about, we're already.
There's no more time.
Sir, I know, I understand. We're gonna get him to the stage. We're just gonna do this one interview. I know you work for the festival, I know. Just give me 2 seconds. We're gonna just do this one interview.
We'll try and do it tonight, okay? But we need to.
We're just gonna do it.
I would have already had the answer. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
If I
go
could,
ahead. Proceed.
Okay, great.
If he physically moves me.
Perfect. If he could get out of frame, possibly.
Yeah.
Keeping you from doing good work is so important because you don't belong here and you don't know how the rules work, and there's not that many of you here, so I have to educate you. That's exactly what was going on here. Daric Cottingham, the journalist involved, said online, "I've worked at the LA Times and Spotify, written for Washington Post, Business Insider, Vox, featured on BBC Radio and NPR, hold a master's in sports and entertainment journalism from USC. Do you know how special that is? I don't care if it was a citizen journalist, but do you know how special that resume is? I'm black and queer, so these things don't matter when I'm in the field, sadly, because you don't belong here. And I'm gonna show you how you don't belong." That's what was going on. Cottingham posted a thread about the incident for context, and you see it here. Shout out to his publicist for stepping in too. "Hi, came back to see this spread. Some think I was in the wrong somehow. I was not. We were already told there was a time crunch and a limit of 2 questions. Perfect. Time got tighter, so 1 question, cool. I began asking my question and this happened. I followed what I was told." This is very simple stuff. Why did you do this? Why are you disrupting this interview? Mayor, I'll get you to weigh in right there.
I mean, he's disrupting this interview because it's, again, this is the nature of not just Hollywood, also Sundance. Sundance actually, their executive director put out a statement on their website a couple years back about the racism that black people were telling them, people that were a part of the Sundance community saying they would experience this level of racism, not just journalists, but people that were there to see movies, critics, and all of this was saying that they were having a hard time being black in that space. This is a continuation of that attitude. This person felt the need to interrupt this interview. And like the journalist said, I could have had the answer already to my question. There's never a reason where you think you need to be that abrupt unless you feel like this is not dignified. Whatever's happening, whatever this is, shouldn't be happening, and I can stop it because I'm white and you're not. What was beautiful though, if you look at the actor, he saw it coming even before it started, and he's not gonna give up on at all. And he said he's not gonna physically move us, and if he tries, then he just giggles because he knows that's not what it is. So I think when black people stick up for other black people, especially when people being interviewed, meaning people of prestige are talking to journalists, you are obligated to ensure that journalist is safe. And to be black and queer for that person to be in that space and to be ostracized in this way is a constant reminder that the naught that the world see us with. And I think, thank God that he had a journalist that understands, or a press secretary or whoever that understands that this is important. Like you said, the resume itself, but also because it's a black and queer person asking me a question, and they don't look like most of the people asking me questions in this space. So I applaud the actor and his team for standing there.
I didn't look like that either on a red carpet all those years ago, and Quincy Jones did the same thing for me. Standing next to a beautiful emerging artist, Tamia, had the same thing happen. Same exact thing happen. Maybe I looked too young. Maybe I was too skinny. I don't know. But I couldn't possibly have belonged there, okay? So I get it, and it's not right. Other journalists, this thing picked up steam because other journalists of color said, you know what? Let me tell my story now. #MeToo. It has happened to me. And they started weighing in, and look at the accounts. I saw you on the press line yesterday. The way it was set up was so typical of people of color press at the back. Yep, absolutely been there. Black journalist treatment, black press treatment as well. It's true. You remember what happened to me with Tamron Hall and Tracy Ellis Ross at D23, shaking my head. Happens all the time. This is why I stopped doing carpets, shaking my head. Back of the line, you don't matter. This is how things run here, Mayor. We have to keep fighting the good fight, but I think it bears a reminder to people how exhausting that is.
Yeah, I mean, and the idea that, this is why I was trying to tell people, you see in King's last few years, he went away from this idea that we just need to have space at a lunch counter or a seat in front of the bus. And we need to start talking about what true equity looks like, because the lunch counter wasn't the only place black people were being pushed to the back to. Bank loans, business loans, in the workplace, applying for jobs. And then of course, like we're talking about right now, black journalism, black press gets to the back of the story where they say, we're out of time. Of course you are, because all the white people have asked their question and there's no space for our point of view. So I think if we're acknowledging the black point of view, then we're obligated. We are obligated to do something and say something about it. So I'm sorry for you and also all other black journalists who suffer through this shenanigans that we call America's press.
And here's something else. I have a good friend who has an incredible organization, Real Times Media. This is a constant struggle to say, hey, look at us. And what's going on now is you have largely white entities who are co-opting or saying, hey, get under our umbrella, because they need black stories and they need black access, authentic access. And I wonder how you feel about that. I'll give you the last word, about a minute and a half left.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people all the time, I'm not against working for organizations if you feel comfortable over there and you can be your whole self. But the idea that you can co-opt what I bring to the table for your benefit and not my community's benefit makes me a sellout, and I'm not worthy. I would never do that. I see black people in politics all the time carrying the water of the parties and not taking care of our community, making it a hard thing to determine if representation is enough. And I would argue that it's not. If you're not representing the benefit of our communities, or you're not bringing benefits back to our community, then you're just a face in a place, and that's not enough. It never has been.
And do it unapologetically, because I see other groups that I'm proud to see them do this. Stand up for their very being, their very essence. They should, and shouldn't we, Mayor?
Absolutely, we must. I mean, we talk about our brothers and sisters of the Jewish community, LGBTQI, how they stick together about issues that are important to them. It is absolutely true that we need to call out the world's comfortability with allowing people to be anti-black and stay and remain in spaces. We must stop that. We must stop that first, for sure.